In tonight's Oklahoma Zone in Focus, state lawmakers and local school districts are trying to keep students off their phones during class. It's a topic that made its way to Governor Kevin Stitt's State of the State address last week when the governor called for more schools to ban cell phones.
A bill passed out of its final committee today that would require districts to come up with their own cell phone policies. We're looking at the bills, the policies some districts already have, and how those policies have affected classrooms. Republican Senator Ali Seifert has been working on a bill for 2 years that would require school districts to ban cell phones.
It's a really big deal for teachers, and they face burnout trying to put the phones away and teach their classes, and kids are dealing with bullying and our test scores are not great.
Two versions of the bill are in the state Senate and House. Both bills give districts control over how to implement bans and would require districts to make exceptions for emergencies and for medical use.
Senate Pro Tem Lonnie Paxton says the topic is one that needs more discussion and input. He was on the Education Committee last year when the topic came up and says it created a huge debate on the Capitol.
Is it okay for the state of Oklahoma, the state of schools, your bill says, bell to bell, no cell type of a, that's the debate that we're going to have on that issue.
And staying in focus, the idea of a cell phone policy isn't new. In fact, prohibiting cell phones used to be the norm. Data from the U.S. Department of Education shows nearly 91% of school districts nationwide had some kind of policy prohibiting cell phone use back in 2009. That number dropped, though, to 76% in 2021. Several local school districts in Green Country already have some kind of cell phone policy. Warner Public Schools near Muskogee has had its ban in place for about a decade and has some of the strictest guidelines. Students are not allowed to have their devices out anytime, including during lunch. The penalty for using a cell phone there varies from having it confiscated to suspension of the student. Bixby, Jenks, Tulsa, and Union Public Schools, for example, all have bans on cell phones and other smart technology during class time, but use in between classes and at lunch varies by grade.
A principal who has experience both before and after a cell phone ban says the key to making it work is parents. News on 6's Emery Bryan keeps us in focus with that story. Emery.
Well, Lori and Craig, any parent or teacher, a principal even can tell you that it's not just the students that they're dealing with, it's the parents that can make or break any policy that schools introduce. When school is out, students outside the Union 8th Grade Center are using phones, but during the day inside the building, the policy is off and away all day.
At the very beginning of the year, we really clarify what off looks like. It's not just on silent. It's turned completely powered down.
The policy at Union is off and away for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, for 9th grade at lunch only, and high school students can use phones at lunch and between classes. Union starts explaining the policy in lower grades so it's understood as children grow older.
We let parents know that this is why we're doing it, this is what's good for kids, and the community support we had was really incredible.
Principal Cundy says parent support is critical to get students to abide by the rules. Union started enforcing the policy 3 years ago, and since then, she says they've noticed some big changes, especially during lunch.
You see them talking, you see them, some groups are playing cards, they're doing little board games during lunch, and the social interaction is way higher than when they were just all glued to their phones during lunch.
And students can still call their parents through the office if needed, and parents can still message their students again through the office, so that old-fashioned system still works. Lori?
All right, Emery, thank you. Well, when the governor announced his support for cell phone bans, parents responded on our Facebook page with some mixed reactions. As you can imagine, some supported the bans. Others questioned if it should be a law or simply just left up to school districts. The Senate version of the bill will be heard by the Education Committee tomorrow. The House version is expected to go before the full House later this week.